It was 1992, and just as kids were really settling into the school year, adjusting to the new violation to their carefree summer lifestyle, and craving some sort of escape from all the seriousness around them, what better answer than the first animated series drawn on a dark background, set in the gritty pits of Gotham, following a vigilante, crime-fighting billionaire orphan? What's not to relate to? Despite the potential lack of similar lifestyles, this animated series drew the attention of children and adults alike, occupying a coveted spot in that after-school, afternoon cartoon block. This very popularity can be attributed to yet another massive boom in the popularity of this iconic DC character, as well as helping to further cement the still fairly recent shift into a darker representation. No matter what impact on the animation industry one wants to credit this 30-minute masterclass, there's no doubt that this series brought epic battles with the entire Rogues Gallery, changed the way the world heard the voice of the Joker, and introduced the ever-popular and dynamic Harleen Quinzel. Dr. Harleen Quinzel. That's right. Yeah, never forget that Harley Quinn is a doctor, kids. And it gave us quite possibly the best Batman or Bruce Wayne voiceover we may ever have. No offense to any other incredible castings we have seen through the years. Looking at you, Jensen Ackles. With all of this groundbreaking development and game-changing production, there was no doubt that we would see it all be honored at any milestone anniversary, especially a 30th. Hey everyone, my name is Jonathan, aka JK of JK Collects, and today we're taking a closer look at the McFarlane Toys Gold Label, New York Comic Con and Target exclusive DC Designer Series Batman the Animated Series 30th Anniversary Batman / Gotham City diorama. But today we hope this one can be a little extra special, as we hope everyone can join us in effort to honor the unforgettable, incomparable, iconic Kevin Conroy. Hey everyone, and welcome back, and here we have it, the Batman Animated Series, the 30th Anniversary Gold Label. It's a Target / New York Comic Con exclusive, the diorama, right? So the Batman, the Gotham City, look at the buildings, like the intro of it, we've got lightning in the background. There's a button that you can press for the lights, but as you can see, some tape was put over it. That's another one of those things where when we order something from Target, it either comes with a sticker emblazoned right on the front plastic, or here they just decided to put some packing tape. So grateful for that, right? But you know what? That's okay. I got it, and I'm happy about that. I pre-ordered it just to make sure that I got one. I have seen these in stores, so if you haven't gotten one yet, hopefully you can still find one. They do pop up pretty regularly. So there we go, a nice drawing / rendering of what we can expect in there. DC Direct of the McFarlane Toys. So this one usually shows up in the collector's spot, right? So sometimes in the toy department on an end cap, but usually in the collector's spot, which is in electronics. That's where I've seen them more often, the DC Direct version of the McFarlane. So it's still DC Multiverse, but it's a Direct. So Batman Animated Series, what a logo. What an iconic logo. And here on the side, just Batman the Animated Series. Can you read that? Is it big enough? I'm not sure. And then a little bit of side window. We got Animated Series and Batman. Apologize for the closeness of everything. And then on the top, there is our Batman Animated Series logo yet again. Can you hear that lightning bolt sound? Like, I mean, it's in my head every time I see this and see this toy. 30th anniversary. Okay, so can we open it from the bottom? It looks like we can. We're gonna find out. Take the bottom out from underneath it. So we got a tape over here on the sides. So one on each side and then one in the middle, and that looks like that might actually do the trick. So let's lay it down, pop it open. There we go. And I'm gonna probably flip this over so that nothing goes plopping on its face. All right, let's pull this out. It's a big box, a lot to handle. But it all comes out as usual with McFarlane. So we've got an empty giant box. Nothing sticks behind, nothing to be wary of. Let's pull this beautiful thing out of, oh, okay, so we've got Batman and his thing, his accoutrement are separate from the diorama, which is, it looks like it's just hooked in to the plastic, almost like a more of a Hasbro-y style, right? Oh, hey, there we go. So no elastics for the diorama piece, but I am gonna move that out of the way for just a second so we can say, there's our guy. There's our DC McFarlane stand. So this plastic does stay. It is glued to the backing which is very cool, right? So we've got just like a foggy thing, a little bit of a building somehow down there, but you know what? It's okay. Can't really see it. And there's our Batman animated series cards. I have another one for the good old collection. I like the die cut Batman's shape in there. It's just all the little details. I love them. And I'm very excited for this one, right? Because it unfortunately is fantastic timing for something like this to come out with our recent loss. Hopefully, you know, our thoughts, of course, go out to all those the loved ones of Mr. Kevin Conroy, the voice of Batman for a generation and theoretically for multiple generations. But here we go. Let's see if we can get this set up. So, right. So our diorama piece, first and foremost, is this just ready to go? How is that already pulled out? Anyway, okay. Oh, look at that. Okay. I am excited to see that. So, I mean, I guess it's already going to be pulled out for the test capability to push that button. So there we go with a little bit of light coming through there. Looks way better on the TV screen than it did in real life at first, but I am very excited. So it shows in a very light color, a white on there, but it is very blue on my end. So they are blue LEDs. They're just coming through as a lot whiter color, and they cast on this kind of translucent plastic on there. Okay, so very neat. I'm going to put that to the side. We will bring it back. I'm going to leave the light on so we can find our way back to it. Okay, here's our gigantic plastic holder for our Batman. Batarang. Let's pull these fists out here. A lot to look at. Lots of cool little accessories that are perfect homages to the animated version. And I like this one because, right, we've already had an animated version released, right? And I'm sure many of you probably already have it with the skinny legs and all, but this one has that cell shading, right? The blue to kind of add a little depth. Let's pull these skinny little legs out, right? It's Batman, the Mr. Incredible version. Skinny legs and humongous torso. Okay, now what I'm going to be curious about is the ability to stand it. All right, so look at this thing. Oh, it's so fantastic. What a legendary pose. And look, the cape is set in that position. Okay, let's look at it. The accessories first. I'm getting ahead of myself. Here are our extra fists that come with it, right? So just obviously there's not going to be a lot of detail because it's the animated style and they want to keep it very cartoony. So it is a plain black fist, but it does have the blue lighting cast on it from where that lightning is happening in the diorama. Here's our other fist, very similar, right? Very similar pose to it to kind of hold things. And those things that we want to hold is either a nice black rubbery plastic batarang. Inconsistencies in the finish of the plastic. Can you see there's a little bit of shine and a little bit of matte, which, you know, maybe something that's difficult to avoid when casting this rubberized plastic, but interesting to see that. I usually see a little bit better control over the plastic from McFarlane and from most of the manufacturers. But here we go. And similar thing happened here. So it may just be something that's very difficult with the casting and the release agents. But anyway, here is our hook. And wow, what a cool thing. Just a little launcher, right? A little grappling launcher with the buttons on the side to fire. Some of the red paint didn't quite fill in and cover all of the black. We got some shining through there and on this side as well. And that's on the casting flash, so probably a little bit difficult with it raised. It's just ready to bump into something. I do like the spear tips here for the grappling hook. They are rubbery, so it's a little less dangerous, a little less risk of injury. But it's that simple, just that simple animated look, right? Not much needs to be done to it. It is going to be in that black, just like it was always portrayed. But let's look at the guy himself. Okay, let's check out the Bats, originally and in our minds always voiced by Kevin Conroy. Okay, so let's check out the flexibility of the head side to side. Really not bad. Right? Really not bad. It'd be good if I had it at a good angle for you to see it. Not bad at all. So neck obviously attached to the torso because it is attached to the cape. But the head, even though it has this massive jaw, still has some pretty good flexibility. Let's see about up. Not really at all, right? So that's still straightforward. How about down? A little bit of down. We don't really have the amount of brooding that we would hope Batman to have, but massive mandibles, massive jawline, massive chin. There's not much movement that's going to happen there, right? I can't really expect much. But what I really want to know, are you ready? Let's do it. Oh boy, look at that. Look what's happening here with the way that it rotates, the way it's attached to the ball. So look, I always call it an Exorcist thing, but there is something extra creepy about that one. But I am still happy that it works, I guess. So the net kind of comes up and goes forward in where it mounts to the head. This must be a little bit more solid place there, but it definitely does a very creepy thing. So it's got some of the blue on there on the top. Paint on the face itself. Pretty good, right? So we've got that very thin mouth, which the closed mouth on the animated series, that's what we are very much used to. The white inside of the eyes seems very well executed. Anything that looks like an issue to me seems like it's just a shadow, because if I shift it, it goes away, or it follows and just continues, but there we go. So yeah, very well done on there. Slight issue right there on the edge, but I mean, it's fine. It's going to be in a diorama. It's going to be sitting there. Okay. One thing that I see here, really like on the shoulders, we've got a massive butterfly joint on that. Good rotation for the shoulders as well. Yeah, so we've got that, good up and down. We do have the bicep tricep rotation, so we're seeing all that normal articulation that we're used to. We do have a single elbow, so, you know, it does do a 90. It doesn't really go farther than that. And it's got a lot of little detents right there to kind of help keep it locked in place, which, you know, depending on what kind of posability you're going to do or poses, it does help with that. Here's something from the packaging. One of these little spikes is bent by just a tiny little bit, and it already wants to essentially go back to form, but it is doing a little bit of a bend down, right? The gauntlets look pretty good. I've got a little bit of an issue right there with it being the rubberized plastic, maybe just where it was cut free. We've got the blue paint on there. We do not have forearm rotation, but we do have wrist, and we have good wrist wiggle capability, it looks like. Yeah, so pretty flexible, pretty good wrist. Same thing on both sides, right? This butterfly joint is definitely ready to move, so that's good. He's ready to go, ready to rock and roll. Both of these are fists, and we had the open, more grip hand there. Here in the, wow, I am excited to see this mid-torso movement. Look at that, right underneath the rib cage. So that's very good for posability. A little bit of waist movement. See, we even have waist rotation. That looks painful. He's ready to walk like an Egyptian, maybe? Anyway, so yeah, waist rotation. Hidden very well by the belt. And you know what? Let's take a closer look at this belt. I like the color of it. There's something about it. It is all a solid color and a little bit of bleed over there, but there's something about it that just makes it seem like there's a little bit more extra detail to it. And in the cartoon, it was just a solid yellow, not really anything amazing or different about it. Legs, we've got full-on bat split. Ladies and gentlemen, look at that. Now, of course, with these skinny legs and those joints like that, it's slightly different, right? It's a ball joint, unlike the ones we normally see. Maybe because they didn't have a lot of room with these skinny little bat legs. Never skip leg day, kids. Never skip leg day. So no thigh rotation, because we would have had a line break in there. But we do have double knee, ready to limber up. I mean, Batman, you know, we don't get to see it, but you know he always stretches. He's got to always limber up. You got to be ready. Bruce Wayne's a smart guy. Okay, but there we go. And no calf rotation. That's all right. But we already saw that the foot has some good flexibility when doing the limbering up. So forward, backward, very good. Ankle breaker, definitely there. And there is our toe articulation, which we already saw in doing the limber up. Okay, and same thing on the other side. We still have that same articulation and capability. Let's look at some paint apps. So the cape, cast in that rubbery plastic. It's really neat, really flexible. I'm gonna have to see if this will come off. Yeah, it looks like it's just release agent. So just a little bit of scratching shows that it's coming off. I don't know if you can see where it's like a little bit of different texture over here. Maybe they were just a little heavy-handed with the release agent to make sure that this looser part came off. But yeah, just a little bit of scratching. It seems like it wants to come off. Won't be an issue. We'll just clean it. But we've got that blue blue paint highlights to show where the lightning is just casting that light on it. Love the blue inside of the cape. Very well painted. Again, maybe some release agent needs to be cleaned off. I don't know if you can see it. Just a change in almost like the finish of it. Gauntlets, almost identical one side to the other. This one doesn't seem to have like that raw edge right there. A little bit cleaner. There is a spot on it, but it's not as bad. This is bent over as well, but another thing that can easily be fixed. We've got our blue highlights running down here. The belt looks good. We did see these issues when just kind of looking closer, where the yellows kind of bled. See that? It kind of missed the line just a little bit. But all in all, I like the color of it, right? Because it matches the logo, which is pretty well centered, right? The bat is pretty well centered on this logo. There's a little bit going on right there with some paint issue, just kind of like it got caught on something almost. But yeah, it looks good. It's better than I could ever do with my hands. And then down here, we got a little bit of a blue on the boot and on the foot, and then that tiny little bit on the external underwear tights. Okay, I am not going to be optimistic on stand ability just because of the heavy cape, the thin legs, and the cape pulling that direction. But that is why this is a diorama. Oh, I almost had it. Did you see that? Just for like a split second, he stood. Will he do it? No, he won't. Okay, so let's bring the diorama back in because I'm very excited about this. I at least want to stand it up on it because it does have a peg for old bats to stand. And thank goodness the LEDs don't translate over through the camera very well because they're pretty bright, and I just shined them right in my eye. So I'm glad I didn't, hopefully it doesn't carry over and I didn't just shine it right in your eyes. So there we go. How cool is that? Just a quick pose on it, and it just looks fantastic. I love this. Definitely glad I picked it up. A great homage to the great comic series brought to animation, voiced by the iconic Kevin Conroy. So very happy to have this. If you get a chance, I think you'll be delighted, right? It's a great figure, great homage, cool backdrop. It's a cool little shelf piece. All right, and we will be back. We'll get some 360 views of this guy, and I'll see you in just a second. Thanks. Okay, everyone, here it is, a 360 view of the 30th anniversary Batman animated series. Batman with the diorama, posed by himself without the diorama. It's going to be a bit much, but a couple things that stood out from it. Obviously, I have to use the stand for him to pose on himself. He's a bit top heavy. The hands, the grip, a little bit of opportunity, as you can see, like where it holds the grappling hook. I feel like it would grip it a little bit differently. Hands come off very easily. They don't necessarily go back on very easily because the peg kind of shifts around. Some bends in the plastic. All in all, though, I am very satisfied with it. I'm happy with, I love everything animated series. It was just, that is my childhood right there. So I think it was great. If you see one in Target, check it out, and it may work for your collection to be a great shelf pose thing. So there we go. Hope you enjoyed it. Thank you. Well, that about does it. Thank you so much for checking us out, as always, and for joining us on this particular journey. Look for a new video each week, if not more, and be sure to subscribe and click that like button. It would really help us out, and it would mean a lot to me. If you'd like to see some more videos, there are a couple of quick links on your screen right now for you to check out. But no matter what, thank you, as always, for taking the time, and remember, we are all in this world of collecting together. Let's look out for each other. Thanks.